My name is Edwin Zapata, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Your Next Step, New Tools for Financial Abundance Now.
I'm Geraldine Carrier, the author of the upcoming book, Wild Woman, Master the Art of Pride, Presence, and Productivity.
A book can be more than just stories. It can engage your audience, create opportunities, generate leads, but only if you have the book work for you.
BCBtv presents Message to Millions, where we spotlight authors and get their message to millions.
Hey everybody, welcome to Message to Millions, Author Spotlight, where we spotlight authors and get their message to millions. My name is Edwin Zapata, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Your Next Step, New Tools for Financial Abundance Now. And I'm here with my co-host,
Geraldine Carrier, and I am the author of the upcoming book, which is called Wild Woman, Master the Art of Pride, Presence, and Productivity. Now we are here to get your message to millions. Today, we will be spotlighting one of our authors, his success story, and what he's doing with that success and how he's maintaining it.
the guest we have today. He's been featured on CBS Radio, Authority Magazine, other podcasts, and so much more. He began his journey as an electrical engineer. He's traveled to over 32 countries around the world. This man lived with Buddhist monks in a temple that was over 600 years old. He even conducted orchestras, choirs, and operas. He won third prize in 2013 in Budapest for a conducting competition. He's an expert in psychotherapy. He's the creator of the 90-day program for Heal the Source method that fast-tracks your healing based on your need for change and development. He is the author of the upcoming book, Heal the Source, Live, Love, Laugh. And if you go to his website, healthesource.com, you can get a downloadable copy of his book, and you can also get a template of Win Journal to build confidence now. Our guest is none other, the one and only Vincent Cheng.
Woohoo! Let's put our hands together for Mr. Vincent. Woohoo! Welcome, Vincent. How are you?
So happy to be here. Honored. It's I know this journey we've started from day one, and I'm just so excited to be with you and share my message. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here with us. It's incredible to see, the success that you've had so far. So why don't you go into that? Tell us, how has the journey been for you to publish your book?
I'll start with day one, just attending that boot camp, that free 5-day boot camp with Jerry back in beginning of COVID in July 2020. And it literally changed my life. I was so enthralled and immersed in it that, the belief I could write a book, that blew my mind. And I thought I had to take 20 years and get more experience. But Jerry said, you could do it. So I decided to do it. And from there on, everything just expanded, exploded. I'm in a place where I never thought I would be in my entire life. It seems impossible if I asked myself 2 years ago. So,
Vincent, every time I hear your story, I get blown away. And the reason for this is because, like you mentioned, you started your author journey, basically a shift in your life. I mean, you lived with monks, and I saw that you like the culinary arts, you like to cook, you like to do all these things, you love music, and you love healing people. But right before the world went upside down, you decided to take another shift and become an author, now to display and share your expertise. How does it feel to basically have shifted before the entire world did? Because when everything was upside down, and I know it wasn't easy for everybody, and I'm not saying it was easy for you, but when the whole world shifted, so did you. And when things were upside down, you were still able to thrive and take things to a new level. What was that like?
I think it brings back a lot of my life experience, why I even went to visit the monks and live that life. It's because of so many times where I hit rock bottom. Life got turned upside down for me. And so, COVID is no different, where my entire music career was decimated. It was turned upside down. And here I am, I just lost a huge part of my life, my living. And I recall every time I did that, every time I put myself in that state, I went into a place of a whole new dimension. So yeah, of course, I had to take the time to grieve that loss, to struggle with everything that's going on. It was tough, But the moment I decided I'm not going to let something control my life and I'm going to take matters into my own hands, I started to search. I started to open my mind, and random ad came on Facebook. Oh, hey, you can be an author. And Jerry's with his funny glasses. He's like, come in and can you do a book? I can do a book. No, no. Let's see what this is all about. And that's just the beginning. So that rock bottom state, and this is my next upcoming book that I'll talk about how you can master your life by mastering sort of these states, how you can put yourself into a ground zero so that you can set yourself up for pivoting, for success, to do the impossible.
Beautiful. I love that. And that is something that I wanted to touch on with you, is because you spoke about, that belief piece, because I know when I came, and I thought about, can I write a book? Right. And a lot of it is that one thing. Do I believe in myself? Because again, you had so much success in other worlds and other industries. So what was that like? What was the journey to actually believing in yourself to actually do something like this? Tell me about that.
I think belief is the power of the universe. I think without it, we can't do anything. But with it, we can do anything. And I did not have that belief because my belief system was locked in, oh, this is my life, be a musician, therapy. But when someone comes along with wisdom, with experience, like Jerry, and he says, you can do this, you can do that. And he instills a belief in my mind and says, and once I'm open to take that in, now that's it. That breakthrough happens. And I think that's how, create and heal the source, and the method of instilling that belief in someone that they can make rapid breakthroughs, they can heal rapidly and transform their lives if they're open to believing that. And it's such a powerful concept. I don't think there's enough books out there that explains it. I feel it's more than just reading. It's that application of being in the presence of someone who believes in you, and you take that and you believe in yourself, and then you go with it. That's how I've just gone from 0 to a million in no time. I still can't believe it. I'm looking back, I'm like, what happened? But you're right, Jerry. It's like that belief. It's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You even said something, Vincent, that this stood out to me. You said you made a decision. And I want the listeners to understand that's a key thing, because even the now, rest in peace, Bob Proctor, he would always talk about, he was behind The Secret. Jerry was involved as well. And he would talk about belief and creating your own world. You coming from the meditation space, especially with Buddhist monks, like I come from the same space as well, but I'm not going to compare to you because, you were at the at the Buddhist monk temple. But why that stood out is because you were able to take the same concepts from meditation and just basically clear things, just let things be, and as they come in, don't get attached to them. You made a decision to move forward, which essentially means you surrendered to a new destination, a new focus, a new meditation. You were now meditating on a new idea. And when you did so, you basically opened up the channels for things to come into your life. And when you saw that ad on Facebook, you already knew, hey, I've channeled into this source and I've attracted this. You basically tapped into your creative abilities. You are the creator in that sense. And you were able to now manifest and create your world. And like you said, you can't even believe it today. So if that can happen to you, it can happen to anybody. So I just wanted to point that out, because I just thought that was amazing how you've basically been able to blend everything together in a way that's so in alignment, because you have music, which deals with frequencies and harmonies and all of that. You have art, you have meditation, you have books, you have the psychotherapy. All of these things have to do with people creating the best version of themselves. And I just love that. I just had to, give you that credit.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. It's so true. all the talks, all the seminars, Jerry's done, Bob, everyone, Tony Robbins, and that video with decision making and how people say and they make no decision, but that's a decision. When you make a decision, and successful people Think and Grow Rich, the successful people make a decision and they change it, but all very slowly. And those who are always struggling are making decisions very slowly, but they change it very quickly. And I think that's a key to success. It's really believing in yourself to make this decision, but sticking with it, even though you don't know what's going on, even though you don't know how to get there. That's the inner trust and confidence in building. So that's why, my system applies the confidence. Without that belief, you make a decision, you're going to run backwards. And there's so much here that people are afraid to make decisions. But yet what's on the other side of that decision could be paradise, could be a life they never thought possible, like mine. And so it's really, as Bob teaches, Jerry teaches, everyone teaches, that the terror barrier, right? Once you make the decision to break through that terror barrier and you say, I'm not going back, you burn the ships and then you go for it. You wanted that badly, you're going to do whatever it takes.
Beautiful. So I have a question that I kind of always been wondering about this. And it's, there's a saying that I have, and it's, you can teach a monkey how to do everything, right? You can teach them how to ride a bike, type, everything, but you can't teach a monkey drive. So what do you think builds drive in individuals?
That's a great question. I think drive comes from really tapping into an internal motivation. And that's what I call the source. Oftentimes, we're driven to make $1 million. Well, but if you look deeper, if you ask enough questions, $1 million it's just a concept. It's just a thing. So we have to understand why you want the $1 million. Why is that important? And that level of complex thinking plus intuition plus emotional and all of this consciousness is what it takes to get into the drive. And that's why a lot of people who come to me are so dissatisfied. They're lost. They don't know their drive. And when you ask them what they really want, which is the core concept that I teach, they say, I don't know, because they're so stuck in what's in front of them. They don't even know that they're stuck. And it's like you want to run a marathon or you want to, get to that place, but you can't even see in front of you because you're shackled, you're in mud. So it's really about, to get to the drive, they come to you with what you don't want. And when you find the source of what you don't want, now you can shift to the source of what you do want. So it is a process. It is, and I think social conditioning, the education system or family culture, they instill a level of drive of what you should want or how you should live. And that word should is the prison. So people don't know how to tap into drive because they're dependent on an external system of telling you what you should be driven to, which actually causes more anxiety and more depression, more fear. And so how I've come to tap my drive is, it's a lonely road sometimes. You have to be able to be happy with yourself, be alone. And now you say, this is what I want. And yes, a lot of people around me said I was completely nuts, jumping on this program and being an author, and you can't do this and doing that. That's the drive. You have to develop it, and you have to say, I'm willing to go alone. But when you do, other people will then come that attract and support you. So great question.
Vincent, I have a bit of a curveball question to tie into what you just mentioned. For those that are listening and hear what you just shared, we know that there are going to be some people that are locked in that box, that paradigm, because of the conditioning through schools and stuff and whatever they've been exposed to in life, their own traumas and stuff, and they're not even going to realize that they're locked into it. So for the people that hear this sort of stuff, whether it be The Secret, manifestation, energies, all these things, and they believe that it's all like fairies and like make believe, because whatever somebody believes, that's up to them. I'm not judging. But for those that hear us speak and think that we've totally lost our marbles, because they are out there, but they want to accomplish something in life, and they're hearing people like us have success, but they don't have exactly the same beliefs or concepts, what would you say to somebody that wants to tie into that belief, and they have those barriers, but they don't exactly believe in or are even open to the concept of energies, if you know what I mean?
Mm. Well, I would say we have to understand why they don't believe. Because when we don't believe something, there's a part of us that thinks we know something. And oftentimes what we don't believe, it's something different, it's something unique, but it's most of the time, it's something you have no idea about. So you form a belief system around something that's unknown and you create. So let's say law of attraction. Well, I don't believe in that fairy stuff. Well, first of all, you have no idea what that is. So you form a counter belief to make you justify why you don't believe it. And in essence, you have no idea what you're talking about. I think that's the level of criticism or judgment that we're constantly dealing with internally and externally, so that most people cannot break through this barrier and to achieve the ultimate fulfillment and happiness. So I encourage everyone to let go of what they think they believe or what they think they know, and come into this saying, well, law of attraction worked for me. I watched The Secret in June 2020. I decided after watching this, I'm not going to let, this is true. And that decision, I followed everything. I never met Bob, but he taught me more. He changed my life. I see an ad, he says, I read this book every day. Okay, what's that book? I'll read it too. And to this day, I read it every day. It's on my bed. Guess what? I now have the success to prove that, but only because I believe, and I'm able to completely let go of all the beliefs I thought about riches, about law of attraction, and I'm open to exploring that before I make a judgment on it. And I think that's what we just tell the viewers, the listeners, don't make a judgment yet unless you've given it enough of a chance and time and effort and diving in. And most people only dive in a little bit and they say, oh, I know what you're talking about. Well, you have no idea. You know, if you do want to understand that, study with me, follow me, see how I immerse myself infinitely into something, and then I make a decision. And most of the time, I gain so much from it. And most of the time, I don't even say I don't like this or this doesn't appeal to me, because that in itself creates the whole system again of like, oh, I don't need this. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Stop making judgments around things that we don't know anything about.
So believers and non-believers, when they go through your 90-day course, they basically go from one end to the other, and you take them on a similar journey that you went through.
Absolutely. I live the program. I am the program, and I know it's a way of life, and I did it for myself. So that's, I know it works. And you go on my website, tons of testimonials, people. I just signed on 5 more people, just the beginning of the year. And in 2 weeks, they're already blown away. One session, they're blown away, So that belief that you make a decision is gonna be your factor in creating the life you want. So I would say, hey, if you're fearing, if you're resisting, if you're judging, then do it and see what happens.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Too many truth bombs, so much stuff that people can take away from this. It's amazing. I just want to touch briefly, what have you done, since you have published your book?
Well, the book hasn't even been, it's not even out yet. It's ready to be printed. I've, transformed a lot of lives, and through that, now some of these graduates, I would say, are wanting to do what I do. So I'm creating a certification program. I've created a new program called the Infinity Program, where you go even further than that first initial breakthrough. My company's expanded. I'm hiring tons of people. I'm beginning speaking engagements all over. Next book is already coming out and working on it. Seminars, I'm creating courses. So tons and tons of things. This is just the beginning. So yeah, anyone can do the same thing. It's all it takes your belief.
What would you say was the most memorable thing that's happened for you?
I think the first thing that pops up is winning that $10,000 session with Jerry. Like after that boot camp, like you get a one-on-one with Jerry. I'm like, oh my God. And that one session, that 1 hour changed my life. And so lots of people are out there to change their lives, and make a decision to jump on that and believe it. Awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful. So again, we're here, and what this whole podcast is about is, or I guess our TV, because it's a lot of things, right? But I wanted to ask you, what would you say your message to millions would be? So anybody that's out there that's thinking, maybe about going down the same journey that you have, or they're wanting to impact and affect people the way that you have, what would you say to them? What would your message to millions be?
Really take the time to be completely honest with yourself, to come to that state of honest, ground zero, to be absolutely humble, so that you figure out what it is, the source of what you want, and to give that time to yourself, because we all want to live a fulfilling and happy life and helping others.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Amazing. Thank you. All right. So we've reached the end, and I'm super excited because I want people to reach out to you. Do you have anything to offer the people that are going to be listening to the podcast, people who want to reach out to you? How can they do that?
Absolutely. Stay tuned for my book coming out in the next month or two, March, hopefully. www.healthesource.com. You can book a free consult with me. Jump on a program, 90 days, and radically change your life. And stay tuned. Lots of things coming.
Thank you, Vincent, for coming. So again, for the listeners, that's healthesource.com. You can get a downloadable copy of his upcoming book. Make sure you check out his 90-day course. If you want to go from zero to hero, he'll take you through the entire journey on how he was able to go from where he was to where he is now, and join him on that. You can also get a downloadable template of Win Journal to build confidence now. So stay tuned with Vincent Cheng, and I hope we're able to have you back on the show in the future. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Anytime. You guys have done so much, supporting me through this journey, and I want to help any way I can. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Vincent. So after you've gone and got all of his offers, you've downloaded his book, I want you guys to go in, and we have an offer from the Black Card Books family. If you go to bit.ly/BCB Books, you can download Jerry Roberts' famous millionaire mindset book, and that's our gift to you. Thanks so much for being here. BCBtv presents Message to Millions, where we spotlight authors and get their message to millions.